We can stop HIV, Iowa.
And it all starts with health equity.
Health equity means that everyone has a fair and just opportunity to be healthy.
To achieve this, we need to remove obstacles to good health.
Poverty and discrimination support an environment in which HIV thrives.
We must work together so that all Iowans have access to the resources they need to prevent, diagnose, and to treat HIV.
Visit StopHIVIowa.org.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey, man.
Do I talk first?
I think normally no one talks and we have a minute or two of dead air and then we officially start the podcast and we call it the confusing podcast.
Well, I mean, yes and no, because that could be the name of the podcast, but it's way worse. It's called We Should Be Better.
Yeah, yes, this is true. By the way, do you think that would work just from like an arts perspective? Like you do this podcast where it's just nothing but random silence. Do you think it would like be some weird thing that would catch on where people would actually be going like, oh, I'm going to listen to the silent podcast?
No.
Okay.
People are,
I come up with a lot of ideas and I would say 20% of them are solid gold and about 80% deserve to be thrown on the side of the road. So
I don't know what else to say besides
we call it the mime. We call it the mime podcast. And it's no. We're really recording a podcast. It's just that it's with a group of mimes.
Yes, it is. And and the funny thing is they're all in costume still too.
Yeah. Which is weird because they don't need to be because it's not a visual medium, but they're really dedicated to their craft.
Yeah, they even call in sick when they can't show up. It's crazy.
But they can't talk to you. So when they call in sick, you're just on the phone with them for a really long time and going, hello,
Steven, is this you? Steven, is this you? Hit the phone twice. Okay, come in tomorrow. Are you there? Did you hang up on me, fucker? Oh, he's silent. He's doing it.
Damn it. I was hoping you would realize it. I was giving you a taste of what the mime podcast could be like.
Yeah, no, that's not very
good. What about this? One person on the podcast talks, the other person doesn't. Kind of a Penn and Teller type thing, but one's a mime, right? But you answer the questions if the mime really like watch. Like let's test it out. You be the mime, okay? So Mickey the mime, what did you do today? That's great. That's pretty interesting. What else? Did your wife do anything? Whoa, that many guys at once. Wow, she is pretty talented. You know what I mean? Like there's no response, but there's another person actually there.
What if they only answered back like Bumblebee with like noises and like parts of songs and stuff? They're like, can you do this? In 30 seconds, I will. I don't know. They're like, hey, is that a good idea? Nope. But also there's a podcast called Bad Ideas out right now. This is funner.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. It's fun. I have an invention in there called an LED dress, which is any color you want.
Which, by the way, it's like a lot of our ideas on that show are stupid, admittedly, but there's a couple of like pretty genius ones that like have snuck their way in that were actually not bad at all.
I'm not going to lie. I wish I had idiot darts.
Yeah, idiot darts, especially since you drive around in those wonderful California freeways. And then out here in Texas, I wish I had an invention where you took hot air and you cool it and you push it into a house with some force and create a cooler environment inside of your house.
Oh yeah, they have those things. They're called air conditioners.
Oh yes. Well, mine broke. Mine broke when it's 104 degrees outside, and it cost. I mean, luckily he said I got out of it light, not having to pay too much, and I only had to pay $3,500.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Oh, he even said he goes. By the way, you got out light. He goes, this very easily could have been a $10,000 like thing.
You know, you're like my second friend that had their air conditioner go out. My buddy called me last week, and they were sleeping in their fifth wheel in their driveway because the air conditioning in that worked.
Jesus, so I know it was so bad because it's the one. So we have two air conditioning units, one for upstairs, one for downstairs, and it was the one for the upstairs that broke. And Audrey comes downstairs and she's like just dripping in sweat. She goes, Dad, is there a reason why it's so hot upstairs? And I go running upstairs. I look at the thermostat. It's 96 degrees.
Holy cow.
And I was like, oh my God. Like it was actually like, yeah, whatever. I had to replace thermostat, had to replace the condenser unit inside of it. I mean, it was a whole thing. We finally got it back working. I'm just a little poorer, as is most things in my life. It just made me a little poorer.
Little poorer? You mean more in debt?
No, that's actually my rap nickname. I'm Lil Poor.
You're a little poor?
Little poor.
Used to be little porridge, but that got confused.
Yes.
Well, that's funny because you only have, negative 24 winters and 115 degree summers. Your air conditioning is outside, right?
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're having like what everyone tells us is the worst summer in 15 years in Texas, and so it's been pretty miserable. Yeah,
you're gonna have to go to like the Texas State meeting and tell them that it's all your fault for bringing.
Yeah, just straight up apologize. Go, guys. Sorry. My bad. This one's on me. These past few years. But anyways, I want to say something kind of funny. So actually it's not funny, but the actress Anne Hesh passed away. But what was funny
horrible transition.
I know it was a really horrible transition. But what was funny about it was, so when I heard, she had the crash, I was doing some research because I was unfortunately watching videos of the crash and stuff like that. I was just watching. I guess I was being a little bit macabre, as they say, and looking at it. But I was literally going to IMDb to just check up on news. Okay. Mm-hmm. As I'm on IMDb, I'm Anne Hesh, 1969, blah, blah, blah. She was born May 25th. And I'm like reading the things. The page refreshes. And now it says born May 25th, 1969, died August 12th, 2022. And then the news breaks that she died. Someone updated IMDb why I was literally looking at Anne Hesh's page, and it updated. It's like, by the way, who was like so on the ball with this? Like, does IMDb have people like standing by, like checking hitting refresh? Guys, we got to update that in the next 30 seconds. We got to beat, CBS News to this, like, are they trying to break a news story? I just don't understand that. I saw this on IMDb probably a good 10 to 15 minutes before I saw it on Twitter, before I saw it on news sites, anything. And I'm like, who is this like IMDb tipster person that just like...
There's actually a person named IMDb?
Imda.
No, you actually pronounce it IMDb. No, well, it's kind of, I'm guessing it's somebody that saw the news that not expected to survive and they're going to pull her off life support as soon as they find out who gets her organs. And said, I'm going to be proactive and just put dead.
No, because it was but that's the thing. When I read it, it said born and it didn't have a died thing. While I was on the page, it refreshed and the died August 12, 2022 section was like added. So literally someone was like, news is about to break that she died. We got to update our movie website. Like that just seemed like super, like if they would have updated it 72 hours from now, like, oh yeah, she died on August 12th. That's no one's going to be like, man, how dare you guys not put her death date in there? But like, they're literally trying to break the news. They were doing it first.
I can't believe it that showed up that fast. That's nuts. I'm on her page now. And Anne Celeste Hesh. She was on, she was a great actress and all, but she was kind of a bitch one time on Doug Loves the Movies. Did I ever tell you about that?
Yeah, you did. And I've had an interaction with her as well at a wine event I did many, many years ago, just a really brief interaction. But she told everyone to fuck off as she was leaving.
Really?
Yeah, she was drinking pretty heavily, was a little tipsy. Her little handler person was like helping her out. And she told everyone there to fuck off. And that was like that was her leaving. And I was like, oh, I think she had a little bit too much. And she was being escorted out, which is odd because she died by getting drunk and crashing her car.
I heard it wasn't alcohol. I heard it was cocaine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard she was on.
Did you see the clips from the podcast, the video podcast that she was recording like an hour or two before, where she was like slurring her words and she seemed out of it?
No.
And that was like the last thing she ever recorded. Yeah, she did some video podcast with a friend of hers, and she's on there and she's like just really slurring her words. And then like 2 hours later, she was in the crash.
Well, I mean, she still has some movies coming out, so she'll be paid for a while. But no, it sucks, dude. It sucks that she died. I mean, even though she is kind of a bitch, like you don't want to go out that way.
No, yeah, I mean that's no one. I mean that's pretty horrific, and obviously too like when you do something to yourself, that's fine, but getting messed up and then getting behind the wheel, you really screw up a lot of other lives. So I kind of lose a little bit of sympathy for you when you made that decision. To do that. Like if she overdosed on heroin, you're like, oh man, that sucks. You did it to yourself and you had a hard life or whatever. No, she was like, oh, I'm gonna drive at high speeds down residential neighborhoods while intoxicated. So I kind of don't give a shit. But she had if you read into her life, she had like a pretty horrible life. And so I'm sure she was very much affected by that and probably led to
self-medicating quite a bit.
Oh, big time. I think it was something like her sister died in a tragic way. Then her mother killed herself. I mean, there's all kinds of like horrible things in her past. So God bless her. And the only real movie I've ever liked of hers was that 6 Days, 7 Nights with Harrison Ford. And
that was a good movie.
It was a good movie. And I remember watching the show Ally McBeal. And I think she was on Ally McBeal for a bunch of years. But she's more famous for being Ellen DeGeneres' like longtime girlfriend, more so than she was for her acting work.
Yeah, and then apparently she showed her chocolate starfish on the remake of Psycho.
Yes, she did, because she is in the shower scene. She plays the Janet Leigh. And by the way, the shot-for-shot remake of Psycho, which I don't have respect for you if you literally just copied it shot for shot.
That was lame.
Add your own spin to it, but don't copy it shot for shot. But anyways, in the tub when she gets murdered, she falls like face down, ass up. So there's just there's a lot showing.
There's a chocolate starfish and some
hot dog flavored water.
It's a hot dog.
That's a Limp Bizkit reference, everybody, for those of you who didn't live through the 90s. And then Chris, I got other bad news for you financially. This is really going to affect both of us. Ferrari has recalled every single vehicle that they have made since 2012.
And why is this?
Well, apparently, us Italians, we're known for creating things of beauty, but not so much like paying attention to details. That's the Germans' job. The Germans build the car where everything must work perfectly. The Italians are like, look at how beautiful she is. She doesn't work, but she's a thing of beauty. So they kind of forgot to like attach a coolant thing to the brake lines, and certain cars have been bursting into flames, and they've been using the same brake system for like 15 years. So they had to recall every single Ferrari. And I know that's bad news. You're going to have to turn in your Ferrari.
Well, both of them.
But that's right. You do have two. But I think your other one's a vintage Ferrari, and it's kind of, it's probably before they started using this brake system. But I was thinking about it when I heard the news, and I thought, what great cover, or not pickup line, but like cover for a guy who's going on a first date with a girl. So, you pull up and you're just in your regular old, Nissan, whatever, Rogue. And she goes, oh, I thought you told me you had a Ferrari. Oh, well, didn't you hear about the recall? I mean,
perfect.
I have to drive this car. This isn't even my car. This is like my brother's car, my Ferrari, God knows when it's going to get returned. Like it gives you perfect cover. You can now lie and say, well, I had a Ferrari, but the recall.
I am 100% going to use that next week while I'm in New York when I run into someone. Like, we couldn't drive in the Ferrari because I had to, return it. It was my Ferrari California from 2009 that I bought. Yeah, it's really nice. They had to actually recall it back to 2005, dude.
Oh, wow. Wow, Jesus. That's actually really bad.
555 cars, 23,555 cars.
That's really bad. But
that's gnarly.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. But just imagine you're some guy, you've owned your Ferrari forever. This might be the greatest thing ever, because you know how it is with these cars. If they don't, a lot of the vintage ones go up in value, but a lot of the other ones go way down in value, and then, they're expensive to maintain and all that. So let's say you've owned your, 2009 Ferrari California edition, and you're like, man, this thing's expensive to insure. And oh my gosh, it's like guzzling gas. And I kind of want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
You can go, oh, recall. Sure. Take the car. You know what I mean? Like you're going to get essentially like, and I think what Ferrari's going to do is they're going to like redo all kinds of stuff in the car for you and all that kind of, like, you're going to get your car like all spruced up on their dime.
Yep. Yeah. And it's going to be, and I'm guessing, this is what I'm going to say. I'm guessing that it's going to be a lot of, hold on. Recall. That was what the guy said when that all happened. No, but they're going to have to give these people probably huge chunks of money back on top of fixing the car, don't you think?
I would think so. And then you would have the argument, well, wait a minute, while you have my vehicle, and God knows how long this is going to take, right? It's not like they pick up your car on a Thursday and they give it back to you Friday afternoon. Like they're going to have your car for weeks and weeks and weeks. You can argue, hey, I still have to pay my car insurance during that time.
Yep.
I
have to
still
have my
have to pay
car
my
registered.
coverage, which, you know, insurance on a Ferrari is $20,000 a month or whatever. Like, hey, you owe me for that. You owe me for, I mean, like, I think that if you're a guy who has this like Ferrari that's probably bankrupting you, this is the best thing ever. Or how about this? Let's say you want to buy a Ferrari. Why not go to the guy who owns an older Ferrari that doesn't want to go through this, whatever, and you offer him half price for it. And he's like, yeah, here, you know, this car is now down to, I bought it for 250,000. It's now a few years old. It's got a bunch of miles on it. I'll sell it to you for 125. I just want to be done with it. There's a recall on it.
I think that could have been a possibility if your $3,500 air conditioner didn't go out. So now we're going to pivot here. True. And I think that we're just going to have to steal a Ferrari that somebody, can you imagine if you collected Ferraris, you have like 10 of these in your garage and you're like, what? I got to take all 10
of them. Oh, I know. Yeah. You're like that guy who's really into Ferraris. And you're like, you built up this huge, like, you're like, Jay Leno. You're like, how much work does Jay Leno have to do right now going, oh shit, I have 42 Ferraris. I got to take them all. Like, what do? Drive them one at a time in there? Like I drive one a week. It takes up a whole year.
They might as well just send a mechanic in a mobile shop to his place and just let him fix it all there. But honestly, if you collect Ferraris, fuck you. Give me some money.
I know.
Give me a Ferrari. That's all I want. And I don't even want to drive it. I'm going to fucking sell it.
Yeah, exactly. Another news story I read besides the Ferrari one that I wanted to chat with you about was in the wonderful city and county of Los Angeles.
Hold on one second. Yeah. Oh, Rico. Sorry, I just had to get out that part.
In the beautiful county and city of Los Angeles, which we fled all the way to Texas to get away from.
I know where this is going.
They have enacted or proposed what they call Project Room Key. And Project Room Key is from our good buddy Gavin Newsom, who's trying to start it in Los Angeles, and he wants it to spread to other cities. It's his genius plan, apparently, to solve homelessness. And that is forcing, by law, all hotels to submit by 2 p.m. all of their unused rooms for the day, all the rooms that haven't sold. And those rooms will be used to house homeless. Now, in this genius move, he thinks that this is going to solve homeless. But
what's the name of it called again?
I think it's called Project Room Key, if I'm not mistaken.
Room Key. Okay, that's what I was. Okay, I'm going to look it up.
Okay, so there's so many. I mean, first of all, I think this guy's like an absolute like retard. And yes, I am using the R word, but I'm using it correctly because he is an actual retard.
No, I agree with you. He's an idiot.
It blows my mind. But so here, I have so many problems with it, but let me just start with one right up front.
Okay.
And all the times that you've checked into a hotel, Chris, and all the thousands of times that you've checked into a hotel in your life, when have you ever checked in before 2 p.m.? They always say check in after 3 p.m., right? So this
now.
Right, or 4. So this nonsense of all the hotels have to report their unchecked in rooms at 2 p.m. This is obviously written by a bunch of stupid politicians who don't know how a hotel works because the hotels don't know that information at 2 p.m. By the way, I'm a business traveler. I get sometimes to a city at 9 p.m. My plane lands and then I check in at 9. What happens when I show up and they go, oh, well, we gave away your room to a homeless person? How pissed are you going to be when you're like, I'm a Marriott Platinum member, and yet there's a homeless guy living in my room and I got to go somewhere else? Like, there's just so many, like, how do you know? You don't. And then here's the other thing. How do you, let's say it's you and the family, you guys are down in San Diego, you're having a fun time, you're going to SeaWorld, you're going to the Wild Animal Park, you're staying in a hotel. How would you like it if in the next room, there's like the heroin addicted homeless junkie who's staying in that room, probably ripping out all of the wiring, stealing the TV because it's not bolted down and all that? How safe do you feel with your family?
Well, that's the thing, is this is never going to work because I can guarantee every hotel is going to report 100% every day, because why would you want that atmosphere? I used to work in hotels too, and you know that. Yeah. So I have a little bit more insight, but we used to find transient people in our stairwells and it reeked. So just think about that alone, just the smell alone. And that's hard. That sucks to say, but it's true. You got to think about those things.
Or what about
They
the
don't have
cleaning?
bathrooms?
What about the cleaning? Oh, and here's
Yeah.
the other thing. What if that homeless guy just says, I don't want to leave this room?
Yep.
What are you going to call the cops to get this guy removed out so that room's available? And then what level of cleaning? So let's say I'm checking into a room. Do I have the right to say, I want a room where no homeless person has been in it? Because I don't know if he's taken a shit and smeared it on the walls. And how do I know you guys have cleaned it up? Like, you see all these Dateline exposés of how dirty the remote control is in the hotel room. And don't even like sit on the bedspread. It's the dirtiest thing in the whole house. Great. Now see how dirty it's going to be where there's like 18 homeless people crammed into that room and with like heroin needles everywhere. It's just the worst idea. And it just goes to show you that politicians don't actually want to solve ideas. They just want to make an announcement to like placate their base, but they don't actually want to solve any of the problems.
No, and this isn't going to solve anything. This is just going to make they're going to force like those small motels to do it. Right. But the large chains
do you think the Four Seasons? Yeah, do you think the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills is going to be like, come on in, crazy guy wielding a machete and stay for the night?
Right. I mean, like the Conrad out in Beverly Hills is just going to be like, okay, we have 10 rooms left. Which smelly people want to come in? And
but that does exactly that does lead to the discussion of, would Eric Leckie pretend to be a homeless person to get a free room for his family while on vacation to save money? And the answer is kind of maybe. I would I would dirty up my kids. Okay, smear some dirt on your face. Monique, I'm going to act a little crazy. I'm going to be like swinging a knife at you, all kinds of stuff, because we need that free room and we're on vacation in like Chicago.
Yes, you would do that. But yes, also you claimed that your child was the R word, like you said, to get on a plane earlier before. So this is nothing that you wouldn't do. This is actually easier than what you did to get on that plane.
Oh, this is way easier. Oh, I could do homeless. Like it was really hard to convince my wife to let me pretend my child had special needs to get on a plane. She was not happy, but I did it anyways. Pretending to be homeless is actually a step up. Like this is like, I could convince her of that. Like, hey, honey, we're staying here for 3 days. How'd you like to save like $600 for our trip? All you got to do is just let me act a little crazy and say that we need a room for the night. She's like, yeah, that sounds like a normal Thursday.
Remember when I did that at the radio station that one time? I went and was homeless. We switched homeless for a day. We got a guy that was homeless, got him shoes, got him a place to stay, got him a job. We got him a job at Angels strip club, but whatever. But he got a job and everything. And then we had to stay out one night out in the streets. And we only stayed out until about 3:30 in the morning because it was raining and cold as hell in San Bernardino. But we met some people. We talked to this one guy. He looked good. He was wearing his Dickies. Nice, looked good. You know, he's like, I go, why are you homeless? And he goes, well, after I get my check on the 1st, I stay in a hotel till about the 15th and I ran out of money and drugs. And then I'm homeless for the rest of the month and I get my check and I do it all over again. I'm like, do you want that guy next to you?
Yeah. Well, I thought what was really odd about when you did that is when you guys switched places, he also had to go home and nail your wife, which I thought was like really an odd choice, but I love that you really committed to the bit.
What's funny is I wasn't married at the time and I was living with you because I was homeless. So he actually,
I know you were actually living on the couch. Yes. But the joke was funnier if I said he went home and was nailing your wife.
I know, but I also had a really good, response to that, which made it even more funnier.
Yes, it was true because you were also homeless. I got one other thing before we get done for the actually two things. I'm gonna go see that movie Bullet Train tonight with Monique. Do you think that's any good? What is your feel for how that one's gonna be?
I think it's gonna be good. Brad Pitt doesn't do a lot of movies these days, and the ones he does are like fun and charismatic Brad Pitt and kind of silly, but there's still some action, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
but I think it's gonna be good. There'll probably be some cameos.
I'm thinking so too. My guess is it's a funny action movie that probably doesn't have the greatest plot and probably doesn't make sense and is probably
the
directed.
Plot sucks. It's called Bullet Train. It's just
exactly. But I asked Monique. I said, do we just want to go see something that we know is going to be like fun? Like even if it's not a good movie, my guess is this is at least fun. And so I'm like, yeah, let's just go see that. But anyways,
what was the one movie? Was it Smoking Aces where it was like all those hitmen getting together?
Oh, but I actually liked that movie. I thought that movie was pretty good.
This is like Smoking Aces and Con Air mixed together. You know that they're in a plane on the air. You know there's convicts in the goddamn thing.
Aces.
You know that there's a train with people on it and they're killing each other. So it's like the two of them combined. I think it'll be all right. I think it's gonna be fun to watch.
I think it'll be all right too. I think we should now do a movie called Con Aces,
We should.
which is about a group of hitmen coming together to assassinate someone on a prison plane because that guy's gonna escape and they have to all kill him.
Start
And then
writing.
Nicolas Cage, yeah, I'm gonna start writing.
No. We can't have Nick Cage on this one. He's too old. Wait,
Well, but
he could be the guy.
he could be the guy. There you go. See, there's always a solution. I think you got to bring back Steve Buscemi as the creepy like serial killer. I think you got to have some people that were in the Con Air movie and some people that were in the Smoking Aces.
Aces. Yeah, you get like Taraji P Henson in there.
Yeah,
because she was with what's her name, the singer.
Alicia Keys.
Yeah, she was with Alicia Keys in the first Smoking Aces, and I think even Ben Affleck was in Smoking Aces. He dies very early.
I think was it Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, I think no.
Ryan Reynolds was, or no.
Well, he might. No, I don't think he's in it. But if you've got a couple of them from there,
some good-looking white guy was in it. You know who knows?
The Malkovich up in there.
Yeah.
Con Aces.
All right, Con Aces. I'm gonna start writing. The last one I got for the day is I was thinking as I was you respond to text, you respond to so many, and you know when you're responding to someone's text, and you just want to you want to do the thing where you give. So there's the choice. There's the little heart. There's the thumbs up, thumbs down, ha ha ha, exclamation point, and question mark. Right.
Yep.
We've had this now for a while. This has existed in our text lexicon now for quite a while. Everyone understands heart, thumbs up, thumbs down, ha ha ha, whatever. And let's admit that probably 92% of the time you're either using heart or thumbs up, right? Like, hey, thumbs up means I acknowledge it, I got it, don't need to text you back kind of thing. Heart means I love what you just said. We get it. I think it's time, Chris, that we have an update to these little icons, to these little emojis, I guess, text reply emojis. I think we need some new ones. And I was going to ask you, I'll go first, but I was going to ask you what the updated edition emoji should be, because I was thinking about this and I thought, what about that time that you just went? There needs to be one that's a middle finger that's just fuck off.
I'm looking right now to see what they are so I can get a better idea. Okay. Yes.
Like a middle finger. And the fuck off one is where like someone says, hey, I really need you to do the yard work tomorrow. And we need to get this done. Fuck off. Like it's a little deeper than thumbs down. It's a get out of here. I think it should be a middle finger.
Yeah. I like that one. How about somebody, actually, where are my kids at? I can't say things when they're around.
Yeah.
No, you could use there. I'm surprised they're not emojis yet, honestly, but what about somebody, maybe a dickhead on there?
Yes.
Than that. And it's
do you actually have, because remember, you got to convey it in a simple emoji form. And I don't mean like the emojis where you text back an eggplant to mean penis. I'm talking about like when you hold down on the text and you're going to reply back with the heart, thumbs up and all that. So like, would it be an actual like penis coming out of the top of a shirt? And that's you saying like, you're like, that's actually a great way to put it. I'll draw a shirt up in front of it and then it won't look so aggressive, but just like, all right, dickhead, knock it off. Or what would be one that would be, what about one? Have you ever been in a group text and there's a bunch of people and they're like going back and forth and your phone's just dinging and dinging and dinging. And at a certain point, you just want to tell everyone to get a fucking life, or like, hey, why don't you call each other? Or so there needs to be one.
It's called like, Leave Group. That's called Leave Group.
There needs to be one that shows like a computer online and then just an X through it, meaning like take it offline, like take it somewhere else, take it to a phone call or something.
Yeah, like or cutting a wire or something.
Just cutting a wire, cut it out. They need to do the old Joey from Full House. It needs to be the cut it out. Dave Coulier.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not for not changing it. Yeah. I'm literally looking at it right now, so I'm like, what could we add? But I'm like,
there needs to be a refresh, right? Like we have technology advances all the time, but for some reason, for the last like 5 years, we've just had these same response emojis, and I think it's just we've come to a time where it's like, we've decided, by the way, no one ever uses ha ha ha. They just put LOL and reply back. Hardly anyone ever uses the exclamation point. The only time you ever use the question mark is when someone texts you and like their corrected it to a bunch of shit and you can't understand one word that they said. So you just do question mark. But like, okay, there's some basic ones and I get that, but I think there needs to be others. We need to either add or we need to subtract some and add new ones.
What would be a foot? What would a foot imply?
Like you need a kick in the ass. Like that's a
Okay, good. That's what I was going.
You know, like a foot going into a butt.
Or in a mouth.
Oh, like you said something stupid. Foot in mouth. See, I like that one.
Okay,
I think
cool. We got a couple.
We need to add middle finger, which just basically is telling someone fuck off. Or foot and mouth means I can't believe you just said something stupid.
You moron is what.
Or when someone means to text their wife and they text their work group like, "Hey honey, I can't wait to see those panties on you tonight," and they text it to the wrong group. You need to do the like foot in mouth emoji like right back to them. Like, you screwed up.
You send me the same text you send your wife?
I do all the time.
Especially about the panties?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, no, I was asking you about the panties. I was asking my wife about the podcast.
Oh, okay. See, I was confused there for a minute. Well, that's fun. How many beers have you had today? You're in Texas. You got what, 3 down already?
No. It's hotter than hell. I really should just go turn down the air conditioner. It's one of those things that now that it's fixed, I'm like being sensitive with it. Like it's made out of glass. I'm like, we must not put the air conditioner under 78 degrees. It must be over. We cannot push it. It is too weak.
No, I push the shit out of mine, and it's old as hell and freezes over all the time. So
do you catch your kids lowering the thermostat without your permission? Are you a thermostat Nazi?
No, I'm not a thermostat Nazi because my kids don't know how to use it.
I will go upstairs all the time and I'll see it like move down to like 68 degrees. And I'm like, hey, F you guys. Like,
do you have one of those old or new ones?
Well, the new one that just got installed along with all the rest that I had to pay for, will the Nest. You can recall it by an app. So
okay, that's what I have, and I have a small house, so I don't only have one unit. But I figured you would have a box like at a school, like the school locks their boxes, their air conditioning units. I'm surprised you haven't done that upstairs yet.
I'm about one step away. If I notice, because like because of how hot it's been, the power grid's been really strained out here. I mean, Jesus, dude, you have it 105 for 70 days in a row, like. I don't care who you are, your grid's going to get stretched pretty thin. So, they've asked everyone, turn up your thermostat, turn it up. And we've tried to like accommodate, but I'm trying to, okay, it might be a little warm in the house, but it's still way cooler than outside by like 30 degrees. And so we deal with it. We're fine. But if they keep moving this stuff to the low 70s or upper 60s, I am going to put that lockbox on the thing, like, or like a code. You're gonna have to punch in a code or something.
Yeah, write a code or just make them go out into the pool.
Yes.
That could
I know, right? My wife and I are in the pool almost every day. Audrey's been in the pool, I think 3 times all summer. Josephine's in it like once a week. Don't understand.
Yeah, it doesn't work. That's weird.
I know, right?
Okay, I have a question for you though, before we get out of here. I'm going to Chicago and New York next week.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah, we leave Saturday night at like midnight 07. So Sunday morning. Get in New York, we stay there 3 nights, then we go to Chicago for 3 nights for morning show boot camp. Now, have you been to either of those places?
New York, yes. I've never been to Chicago.
Is there any place in New York we should go to that you think?
Okay,
like World One.
There's this building, and it's known as the You might want to write this down. Empire State Building.
Oh, really?
Yes. No. I'll tell you something that was kind of cool, but you know me, dude. I like a bunch of weird shit. Look up the Houdini Museum.
Well, I asked
you. Free. It's free, which me, I'm always about the cheapskate stuff, but it's free. It's right in the middle of Manhattan, and it's just like it's kind of hidden. And you walk up a few steps, and this guy's got this kind of cool magic shop that has a bunch of cool Houdini artifacts, and he'll talk to you about Houdini. And it's literally one of those things that will take you 20 minutes out of your day, 30 minutes out of your day. You could do it while you're on your way to do something else. You got some time to kill, whatever. I was a big fan of that. Anything else would just be bars and like restaurants and stuff. I do like Rockefeller Plaza rooftop much more than Empire State Building. It's a much better view and cheaper. So I would recommend Rockefeller over Empire.
It's Top of the Rock, right? It's called
Top of the Rock is a way better experience and way better view and cleaner and all that than Empire. And the lines at Empire State Building are insane. The other thing is, the most useless tourist destination in all of New York is the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely stupid. I will tell you one of the more underrated ones. Find the Chelsea Market.
Okay.
It's a great little like indoor market, great to walk around, great food options. Everyone will find something they like. And right alongside the Chelsea Market is the Chelsea what do they call it when the train is elevated, the elevated trail or something like that? It's shoot, I'm drawing a blank on it, but there's literally like this walking trail that's on the old raised train tracks, and it's right behind the Chelsea Market. It makes a great little nighttime walk. There's always like food vendors and people going for jogs, and it's very like well lit. It's not all shady. It's like very clean. Those would be kind of the things I would recommend.
That's funny. That reminds me of Atlanta. When we were in Atlanta, there was this place. I don't remember the name of it, but it was like this long walking path. There's like a big circle through downtown, and it was nice. And then there'd be every half mile there'd be another restaurant or bar or groups of things, and we just walked the path and stopped and got a beer, and walked the path and stopped and got a drink and snacks, and it was pretty dope. So I'm gonna definitely check that out because I pulled it up right now, and that's why I asked you, because you're fucking weird.
Yeah, and I like all that weird stuff, man, much more than like the touristy things. But yeah, those would be my suggestions: that elevated walk thing, the Chelsea Market, and the Houdini Museum. And
all right,
Top of the Rock.
Top of the Rock.
Boom. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Check out Listen to This, which is an amazing podcast with a very handsome host.
Speaking of rocks, Rock comes out next week.
Oh my God, it's like it was meant to be.
Right.
All right, get out of here, and everyone be safe out there, and don't sleep in homeless hotel rooms.
And hope for Eric's air conditioner to break again.
Yes, you jerk. Later.
Bye.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.